The following program is seen statewide on California Public Television. Well, you know, it's always interesting just getting to these various parks that we visit all over the state of California, and today was certainly no exception, because in order to get to this park, we traveled down one of the most beautiful and I understand historic, and also it had to be one of the windiest roads I've ever been down anywhere in the state of California. Now that we're here, we discover that the name of that road is Pleasant Valley Road, and we have left Pleasant Valley Road. We're right off the side of the road right now, and we've hooked up with Supervising Ranger Jeremy McReynolds. And Jeremy, tell everybody exactly where we are right now. What's the name of this park?
We're in South Yuba River State Park, and this is Bridgeport.
So we're in Bridgeport?
We're in Bridgeport of South Yuba River State Park.
Okay, and what is the closest town to where we are? Because we didn't see many towns around here.
Well, the closest town that people would be familiar with would be Grass Valley, and it's about 15 miles away.
Okay, we're in Nevada County. We're 15, 20 miles away from Grass Valley, and we're in this beautiful park, which is actually a small park, isn't it?
In some respects, yes, but very important.
How many acres we talking about?
Well, this location's about 900 acres.
What do you mean, this location?
There's about 6 different locations on South Yuba River that State Parks manages, and this is one of those locations. And
they're all kind of connected together into one park?
Yeah, and it's kind of a string of pearls.
Okay, and this pearl right here, when you get out of the car, the first thing you see, which dominates the landscape here, is this big old red barn. What's that all about?
Well, this barn isn't just an ordinary barn. It's our bridge to the past.
A bridge to the past. You're not going to tell us much more about it till later on in the day, right?
Right, and I'll let you experience that.
All right, I know what the bridge is, the bridge to the past of. What we're going to, the bridge goes right over in that direction, but we're not going to give it away right now.
No.
What this barn connects to is very historic and very beautiful. We have a welcoming committee here to greet us this morning, lots of docents, lots of members of the community that obviously love this park very much. We're going to spend the whole day right here in South Yuba River State Park in Nevada County, a park that is definitely one of California's golden parks.
I love you, California, you're the greatest state of all. I love you in the winter, summer, spring, and in
Okay, the baton has been passed. We are now standing here with Ranger Mike Smittle. You're based here year-round, right here at South Yuba State Park.
Exactly. We're a year-round park, and I actually have worked here since 1989 here at the South Yuba River State Park.
So you must like it here.
I love this place. What a great place to work.
All right, now let's explain the mystery of the red barn, because it so dominates this park when you pull in. And this big old red barn is not here by accident. There's a reason this barn is here. First off, how old is this thing?
This barn was built, the best we can tell, in the 1860s, and this barn was built to assist in the livestock that used to come down through here for the Virginia Turnpike.
The Virginia Turnpike. Now, what's that all about?
Right, the Virginia Turnpike started down in the valley, and it was the connection to the silver mines up in Virginia City, and this was the crossing on the South Yuba River where all of the horse and wagons and all of the supplies that came through the valley and up through the mountains and eventually ended up over in Virginia City.
So this would have been we're standing basically on the side of the freeway right here.
Exactly. This was a primary transportation route over the Hennis Pass, which was actually the lowest area in the Sierras for the wagons and stuff to get over to Virginia City.
So this barn would have been where all the horses were changed and watered and housed, and I mean, kind of like this was you know, like a central point for horses.
Exactly. This was a stopover point if they needed to spend the night here. The barn was available for the horses to be watered and rested, and this was a central location for the horses.
All right, I think we've talked about the barn enough because we've got something very special to look at over here. This is the gem of the park right here. We are looking at something that's almost unique in California. There are not many of them left, are there?
No, there's actually, I think there's 8 covered bridges left in California today, and this is one of the 8.
And let's walk down here and talk about it for a minute because it's an absolutely beautiful bridge. I'm sure we're going to get some great shots of it as the day goes on, but tell us a little bit about this bridge. How old is this bridge? It was built when the Turnpike was built.
Exactly. This bridge was built in 1862, so it's 144 years old, and it's a beautiful bridge.
Now, why is it a covered bridge? Why would they go to the trouble of covering a bridge out here in the middle of nowhere?
Right, good question. Probably our most commonly asked question about the covered bridge, and the reason is because the bridge was primarily made up of wood inside. So the shingles, the sugar pine shingles that cover the wood structure is what actually protects the main timbers and beams in that bridge, so it has withstood 144 years.
That's not the original bridge, is it?
Most of the, probably about 60% of the timbers in that bridge right there are the original timbers from 1862.
I assumed it had probably been built and rebuilt many, many times from the time it was originally put in here.
It's been reshingled many times, but only the original timbers have only been replaced a few times.
And look at this setting. You know, nothing has changed out here, so this really gives you the idea of how it would have looked and felt back in the 1860s when this was such a busy place.
Exactly, and the other very unique thing about this bridge, it's the longest single-span covered bridge in the United States.
Wait a minute, that bears repeating.
The longest single-span covered bridge in the United States.
Wow, so you probably have a lot of people visiting the park just to see the bridge.
The bridge is kind of our centerpiece here at the South Yuba River State Park, and we have a lot of people from all over the United States and the world, for that matter, that come just to see our bridge.
Lots of photographers, lots of artists, lots of people who just sit here and take in the beauty of the bridge.
Exactly. Many people come here to look at just the bridge itself.
Well, the old, what was it called, Virginia Turnpike?
The Virginia Turnpike, yes, exactly.
That's not being used anymore like it would have been back then, but cue the wagon. Come on, here they come. We have recreated, we're going to recreate some of the traffic right here. This kind of takes us back in time to show what it would have been like. Now, Mike, would people have been coming down just like this?
Exactly. We would have all the wagons that would be carrying supplies and stuff, and people that would be moving back and forth through the up to Virginia City.
Stop a minute. Let me talk to you a minute. He's almost breaking the speed limit going to the bridge. Hi, how you doing?
Hi, really good. You?
Huell Hauser, nice to meet you. Your name is?
It's Cal Rowland and my wife Barbara.
Nice to meet you. And we got a whole bunch of kids. Which school are you all from, kids?
William Grant.
Are you having fun out here at the park today?
Yeah.
Everybody likes riding the wagons.
Oh, they sure do.
And what's it like for you going over a bridge like this in this wonderful old wagon? Because this really takes you back in time, doesn't it?
It really does. It feels like we're back 100 years ago or 150 years ago when it was built. And
now, do the horses get spooked at all when they go inside the bridge?
the very first time they went across, they were a little apprehensive, but they've been pulling the wagon in public for a long time, and since then, which was about 8 years ago, they go through without any problem at all.
Well, we want to get a shot of you going here because this is like recreating history.
Oh, it is.
Head on across the bridge. We'll watch you go through there.
Okay.
And Mike, this is really neat because this really puts it all. Have a good trip, kids. This really puts it all in perspective. Just standing here watching them go through the old bridge. How long is this bridge?
The bridge originally was 251 feet when it had what was called wing walls, and you can see the extensions out here, the wood.
Oh,
and
right
they
out to here.
They were protection to the main entrance to the bridge itself. Right now, the actual length is 229 feet.
Here's the toll right here. 8 horses, mules, ox team. $6. That was a lot of money back then.
Back in 1862, as a toll bridge, that was a lot of money for these people, yes.
So would they bring that? They would bring 8 horses at a time?
Exactly. Some of the mule and horse teams had that many horses in a team as they were hauling the supplies. They were the long supply wagons.
And they're 1-horse buggy each way $1. That's almost like a toll to go across the Golden Gate Bridge or something.
I don't know how it would compare to today's money, but if it was converted, it would be a lot of money to today, wouldn't it?
Absolutely. And oh boy, look over here. Now we're seeing, which river are we talking about over here?
Yeah, this is the South Yuba River, and it goes, it starts up in the Sierras and near Lake Spalding, and it ends up right down about a mile below us in Lake Englebright.
Wow, what a beautiful river. There's the horse. They've stopped because they want to come back. They're just going back and forth. They don't have to pay, do they?
No, they're free today. They're free.
Now,
yeah.
This isn't open for car traffic today, is it?
No, we've got it closed to vehicles, and really only on special events do we allow the wagons to even come across it.
We can walk through it,
Absolutely.
though.
It's available for foot traffic only now.
Okay, we have a great vantage point of the tail end of your 2 horses here, Cal, as we head across the bridge. This is a first for me, and I'm sure for most of our viewers as well. I'm going to be interested in what it sounds like. Oh, yeah. It's got a great sound, doesn't it, inside a wooden bridge?
It sure does, yeah. You can just imagine, it sounded just like this, 100 years ago when the bridge was built back in the 1860s.
Now, would they go slow like this across the bridge, or would there be some speeders back then, too?
I'm sure there was a lot of speeders, but the big wagons would go slowly.
What are the tracks in the middle of the bridge for? You got 2 sets of wooden boards in the middle of the bridge.
Those were put on there when they started using automobiles across here to keep the wear off of the boards underneath.
So the cars would have ridden on those wooden boards?
Yes, that's right.
Wow. This is great. And how would they handle the traffic if there was ever one wagon going in one direction and another going in another?
Well, this was a toll bridge, so I'm sure there was the toll keeper would control what wagons would go through first.
So there wouldn't be a jam.
Exactly.
Oh wow, this is great. We're back outside. We're back on the Virginia Turnpike. You having fun, kids?
Yeah! A lot.
Okay, we have disembarked the wagon so we can get another view of it coming here, and boy, I just love the mountains and the trees in the background. It really puts it into context. Kicking up a little bit of dust here on the old Turnpike. The kids are still waving. And they have pulled in to the next stop on what school kids do when they come here to visit the park.
Exactly. One of our favorite events here.
Kids, go on and unload. You're supposed to get off and start panning gold, because that's a big deal, isn't it?
It is. It's one of our favorite events here is the gold panning, and we actually have many school groups that come here and do the gold panning in our troughs that we have available here for them.
Now, how does this gold panning connect with what would have happened here years ago?
Well, the gold panning, the placer mining, which is, the working in the riverbeds with the sluice boxes, and they didn't have dredges back then, and just the panning itself, this was one of the richest rivers for gold in California. So
would they have actually been panning for gold right here around this bridge?
Yeah, right in this area. We had many camps right around this area where actually the miners had camps set up that they would actually pan and work the river for gold.
Now, do you kind of help out the situation by putting a few flakes in there, or are they really going to find some gold today?
You know what? They absolutely will find some gold, and we do make sure that they'll find some gold.
Do you come out and help the kids?
Yeah, I've been doing this for a couple of years, working with the school kids mostly, and whoever comes on weekends.
Now, when you get through working with the kids, do you ever take one of these pans down by the river and try a little bit of it for real?
I have done a little bit of that, but you can't do it now because the water's too high.
I got you. So there are only certain times of the year that are optimum for actually panning gold.
Yeah, in the river. In the creeks, it's a different story, but here it isn't till sometime in the midsummer before the water's low enough to get out in the river.
But you know, there's something exciting about panning for gold, isn't it? I don't care how old you are.
Yeah, I think that's true. Yeah.
What do you think it is? The excitement of the anticipation of actually finding something that's kind of shining in the light in the bottom of your pan?
Yeah, that's part of it, and part of it is the idea of getting rich quick.
Oh, kind of like the lottery.
Yeah. I tell most of the people here that are doing it, though, I tell them not to give up their day job until they are sure.
That's got to be real popular with the school systems around here.
You know, the school groups, they love coming down here and do it. We also do it on the weekend, just for the general public on Saturdays and Sundays at 11 o'clock. And we get lots of people that come down just specifically to do the gold panning on the weekends.
And you know, you can do gold panning in a lot of places in California, but this is about as authentic as it gets. The setting of all of this, and we're standing right here by this fence. Is this original?
This is an original rock wall, and these rock walls originally were built to keep the livestock into certain areas.
So there would have been, what do you mean livestock? You mean?
Well, like cows and horses, they were fences that were built out of rock that they could move their livestock, goats, horses, and cows within the ranch itself that was down here.
Was this just a ranch? This was never a real town or a community or anything here?
Exactly. They called this area Bridgeport, but this actually was a ranch in its main day when the barns were built here.
And it was basically built because of the Turnpike. It wasn't here before the Turnpike.
Exactly. The Turnpike is what brought all the people and the population to here, was the river for the gold mining and the Virginia Turnpike.
Now we're getting a good look at something that is also a very important part of what goes on here at this park on this river.
Yeah, during the springtime, the South Yuba River has some world-class areas that the kayakers love to come down and put their kayaks in. We have a lot of Class 4 and 5 rapids coming down through the South Yuba that we get kayakers from all over the world.
Is this cold water? It looks cold.
Yeah, right now this water temperature is about 50 degrees.
Oh boy. So that's coming out of the snowpack.
We got snow melt that's coming down right now, exactly.
Wow. And during the summer, are people down here swimming in the river and inner tubing in the river? And
yeah, this is a very popular place during the summer. This water is slow and warm. It's about 80 degrees, and as you can see even now that it's higher, this water is crystal clear, blue-green waters. It's got beautiful white sand beaches and a very popular swimming area.
Wow. Now they're having a lot of fun right now.
Yeah, this is a real popular activity. These are some of our local kayakers that are coming down right now, and they're very familiar with this river.
Now what are they going to do? They're going, we're standing right up here on top of a new bridge here, and here's the old bridge over here, and this is our first chance to really get a sense of just how big this bridge is. It really, oh, there come the kayakers. It really is a huge bridge.
It is. It's a long covered bridge. It has the arch design that you can see there, which actually in its day has the more weight that was put on that bridge, the stronger it got, because it kind of set itself with that arch in there.
Oh, you're talking about this arch that comes on the outside of the bridge?
Exactly. That arch is both on the outside and the inside of the bridge.
Oh, wow. This is absolutely beautiful. Just standing here and taking all of this in. This is worth the trip to this park just to stand here and look at this.
Yeah, this is an awful beautiful place right here with a covered bridge in the background and the kayakers coming down. Occasionally we'll have fishermen in here this time of year that'll come in, and I've checked some really nice rainbow trout that have came out of here also.
We're going on a little hike here, which is also part of the park experience.
Yeah, we've got 4 primary hiking trails down here at Bridgeport that the public like to come down and use, from short, easy trails to 3-mile round trip that'll get your heart rate up.
Now here are kayakers right here playing in the water.
Yeah, they're out there practicing some of their moves. These guys, they go through, it's a very dangerous sport, and so the kayakers, the level of quality we get here are top of the line kayakers.
Is this a little beach here?
Yeah, this little beach area, we call it Family Beach. It's a very popular beach during the summer, but it's a nice sloping, gradual beach where a lot of families with young kids come down to this beach.
And there's the bridge. So you've got the whole package right here.
You got the water, you got the view, you got the setting. It's a beautiful place.
You brought us over here to this part of the shore to tell us a little of the unpleasant recent history about this wonderful old bridge.
Yeah, January of 1997, we almost lost our covered bridge in some very high floodwaters that came down through the South Yuba River. The water hit the bottom of that bridge for over 2 hours, and we almost lost it.
So that bridge could have been swept away.
Yeah, we actually were afraid that we were going to lose the bridge. We have some very dramatic photos that showed just how high the water was on the bridge.
Was there anything you could have done to save the bridge?
There was absolutely nothing we could have done.
So if the water had gone up another foot, that bridge would have gone.
There's a possibility, and plus all the trees and the items floating down the river is what was doing the damage.
And it also shows how well that bridge was built originally.
Exactly, and we were fortunate we didn't lose the bridge. We got some grant money. $600,000 later, we were able to put our bridge back into the condition that you see it now.
We've been joined by Chuck Sameka, who used to be a ranger here at the park. And Chuck, what's interesting about walking down this road right now, we're on the original Virginia Turnpike right now, which actually in its heyday didn't last that long, did it?
No, it didn't. The Turnpike walls were probably built around 1856 when it was incorporated as the Virginia Turnpike, until about, let's call it about 1864. By that time, actually the company approached bankruptcy. Because
bankruptcy?
Well, the railroad was being built coming over present-day 80 corridor, and a lot of traffic was going that direction very, very quickly. And it put the big money making out of the toll road here way down. And in fact, this road was used for years, but by, again, those latter part of the 1860s, things had slowed down a lot.
How long did it stay an operating road? Because this is a piece of history right here.
This road was continually used until about 1974, actually, when they built a new highway just above our rock wall up here.
Wait a minute, 1974?
That's about right, yes.
And how long did they go around charging these tolls to cross the bridge?
The tolls cut off about the same time throughout California, by about the turn of the century, about 1900. In the case here, tolls were ceased about 1901.
So they were still charging tolls to cross that bridge all the way up to 1901.
Absolutely, and it was David Wood's son, the man that built the covered bridge, Samuel Wood, charging those tolls at that time.
So that toll bridge was very good to the Woods family over the years.
Absolutely, it was their bread and butter, for sure.
And I got to tell you, this is amazing out here. This is just an extra little benefit that I didn't know we were going to get, to actually walk. How many Californians do you think? This is so obscure, I'd never even heard of this before.
Well, we want Californians to come and learn about their early transportation history. This is a focal point for that. Right here, this highlights the fact that most of our bridge and toll roads throughout all California were paid by private citizens like Mr. Wood up until about 1900.
Who charged tolls to use their private roads.
And they built the roads, they charged the tolls, otherwise the roads wouldn't have been here. It wasn't until 1919 that Caltrans came into existence.
Well, here it is. This is the old Virginia Turnpike right here, still alive and well and kind of off to the side of the main road, just like it's been. These walls have been here, this road's been here since 1858. Now we've come to a beautiful little family cemetery here, Mike, that's right on the park property. What's this all about?
Right, this is the Kneebone Cemetery, which the Kneebone family was one of our original families that came down here. They ranched in this area. They owned this property.
So the Kneebone family lived here?
They lived here, and to this day we have the Kneebone Cemetery, and their family still takes care of this cemetery here in the park.
This is amazing. It's so nice to meet you all. Do you all come down here and visit the family cemetery often?
We come down 2 or 3 times a year, once to spray the weeds and clean it up. Then we come back and decorate it for Memorial Day.
It must make you feel wonderful to know that your family cemetery is being preserved forever as part of this state park.
Oh, it does.
Now, do you ever wonder what it must have been like for your relatives living back here in those old days?
Yes, because I've come down here in a car, and I think, how in the world did they make it in and out of here with the teams?
With those mules.
Yeah.
Now, when you get to the toll bridge down here at the covered bridge, do they give your family a special pass? You don't have to pay, do you? Because you're relatives of the original.
No, they've been great to us. They let us do things pretty well to ourselves.
So that's it. We got the ranger dog, we got the kids, we got the docents, we got the rangers, we got the bridge, we got this beautiful setting out here right on the side of the Turnpike, of the freeway. What was it called again?
The Virginia Turnpike.
The Virginia Turnpike, this wonderful place nestled here in the hills. This is we've just had an absolutely wonderful day.
Thanks for coming out, Huell. This was a great day. We were thrilled that you brought your group out here and did a program on.
Well, I can't imagine not having a good time here.
Yeah, this river during the summer, it's 80 degrees, this water down here on the South Yuba River, probably one of the nicest swimming rivers in the state of California.
But year-round when you come here, you're surrounded with this sense not only of beauty, but of history, and it's kind of obscure history too.
It is, exactly. We've got a lot of history here. During the spring, we have wildflowers down here that are absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
So it's just, we have a lot of different things down here at Bridgeport.
Well, anytime you come, you're going to have a good time. The name again is the South Yuba River State Park.
The South Yuba River State Park, exactly.
Right here in Nevada County, we've had an absolutely wonderful time. This park is definitely one of California's golden parks. Everybody give us a wave goodbye. We've had an absolutely wonderful time here. A very historic California sound. Well, I sure hope you enjoyed our visit to South Yuba River State Park in Nevada County. And if you'd like to go on this adventure again, share it with family or friends, or perhaps donate a copy to your local school or library. It's available on DVD. All you have to do is call 1-800-266-5727, and we'll be glad to send it to you right away.